I got it. Everybody keeps asking me, Randy, are you writing it down? Did you write it down? Like, no, I got it up here. I've been thinking it. I got to the gym tonight and I see all of you guys there. The memories are flooding. And I lost it. I couldn't remember what I was going to say. So I'm like, Ryan, can I use your office? I need to type this up. So I sat in there for a while to type it up. And part of this that I want to talk about, I also thought, let's use Facebook. There's a lot of people that couldn't make it, and they might want to make comments. So Dad, I know you don't look at Facebook, but there's some memories here that I'm going to read to you in a little bit. So when I was thinking about this, how in the world do I introduce the man that I love so much? How does he have such a love for a game, basketball? How does he have that love? Well, he used to take us up in the barn. It'd be sub-zero temperatures. Didn't matter. We go up in the barn. I think really Mom was trying to kick us out. Go get them in the barn, Dad. So we would go up there, and sometimes we even have our gloves on, and we'd be working out in the barn, and he'd be teaching us. And, you know, oh, we'd have battles and fights. I think Brenda and I probably had the most fights, and not between us, but with Dad, because we're the most argumentative. And, but it's always a learning experience there when I look back. It was something that was so special. And we'd be up there, he'd be teaching us the hook shots. You know, he threw it at the free throw line. For crying out loud, who throws a hook shot at the free throw line? You know, he was trying to teach. I'm like, Dad, that's a long ways. You know, Ron wants me right under the basket. What's going on here? But we tried, and we learned it, and sometimes it worked for us. But Kelly was the one that took that knowledge, and he came up with the baby hook, was coming around at that time. And Kelly was unstoppable with the baby hook. It was just absolutely amazing. I remember in the gym, we'd go up and play with the adults. We'd be in there playing hard with all the older guys. We could go to the locker room, take showers with our dads, which nowadays that'd be pretty weird. But it was such a cool experience as a kid growing up that here you are just with all the guys. And then we got to put our feet in the white powder in that little box that was there. I mean, that was awesome. And then you turn around and you look at this sign. We furnished Dad would point this out to us. We furnished everything but the guts all the time. He made sure we saw that. It was up to us. Dad knew how to take a sport that he loved and involve his whole family. No matter where we were, he involved us in it with him. So even though it was the thing that he loved so much, he wrapped his family around. It wasn't just individually. It wasn't just about him. We'd sit down and we watched film strips, the old film strips of Red Harbaugh, of the Boston Celtics. And we'd have to watch those and we'd study those. And I'm like, you know, these are pretty old, Dad. But that was what was going on then. And he was telling. And then who else would get to go on a mission trip to Venezuela and teach the hook shot to some kids in Venezuela? The grandchildren asked Grandpa before he left and wrote him a note, hey, Grandpa, can you teach the hook shot to some kids over there? And sure enough, he took time from the Gideons, and we have pictures of him with a bunch of kids teaching the hook shot. And that's how much he loved working with kids. So let's go back to how I started. Why does he love the game of basketball? And I think we can wrap it up into this. Because Jesus Christ is the most important thing in his life. Basketball is just the means to show that love that Christ gave him. I truly believe his love for everybody here and in Bolden and the kids comes from Jesus Christ. Because how could that love come out otherwise? And he'll take time with anybody that wants to go to the gym. Today, if you call him up and say, meet me down at the gym, he'll meet down there and he'll work with you. On Facebook, this was on there, and I would like to read a couple of the comments from some of the people. Arlette Abrams. He always has something positive to say about the boys and girls who play basketball. Wonderful man, greatly respected by many. She said today at the game, said every time he'd see the kids, he'd encourage them. Robert Thomas never played for him, but played for Jeff at Warsaw, coached with Jeff at Keokuk. And when Dad was back, he always carried and teaching. Brent Nelson. I was never coached by your father, but a few impressions of the man. The first is that he's so sincere. You just know for sure when you talk to Bob that he fully believes in the principles of his life. He is soft-spoken, but always speaks in a truthfully way, which is very powerful. I have watched him work with kids and is so very kind and patient. I never miss a chance to speak with him when I see him at the grocery store or sometimes at Sanford Health Center. I always feel stronger and more focused after a few minutes in his presence. I hope he has a great and good luck in the future. Great night. Dustin Lansmaron. I never knew Bobby as a player. Great pitcher, though. I love it. I did, however, know him as a coach. I had the opportunity to play for him in middle school. He was passionate and patient. He taught a bunch of rowdy young teens the fundamentals. Pivot foot, triple tret, and when all else fails, put the hook shot. It can't be blocked. He is truly one of the best coaches I ever played for at any level. Congratulations to Bob. Travis Knudsen. I would consider him a cornerstone of Nordic basketball. He was thoughtful, caring coach. I always believed he had a sweet hook shot. Angie Anderson. Bob, you may never know how many lives you have touched, either on the court or off the court, or just in everyday life. You are such a role model for all of us. Your words of encouragement and advice are always welcome and appreciated. Congratulations. Well-deserved award. Matt Wagner. Growing up, Bob was as big of an inspiration to myself, spiritually as well as a great coach. He is a definition of a great human being, and I couldn't be more honored to play for and learn from him as a youngster. And to this day, when I make a hook shot, I think of Bob. Wish I could be there. Joel Waterworth. I had quite a bit of time spent with Bob. I worked at school for a couple of summers with him. Needless to say, work was fun. During the season, Coach Hewlin would have Bobby come and practice against us. That wasn't as much fun as he worked us over pretty good. He also made us much better. I can safely say we didn't play against a better post during the season. Congratulations to all inductees, especially Bob, Ron, and Jim. I am truly honored to be here to introduce the greatest man I humanly know, our dad, Bob Dahl.